Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Uggly doggly, what do I want to have a look at? Something a bit lighter to finish my OMG TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. We made it yet another week. Goodness me, the week's absolutely flying past. So entertainment only. And what I want to have a look at is I was watching or listening to Hogarth's Global Astrology, the Hogarth Leash, but it wasn't Sheila on yesterday. It was a Fefe. I was listening and watching that last night. And Hogarth was talking about the fact that Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, yeah, I think it's the UK. I know they have many terms: the British, the UK, and they all mean different. They all mean different sectors are in there. So he's the UK Prime Minister at the moment. He's hanging on apparently by a shoelace. I would not have been surprised if he got taken out last weekend. Now, if you're wondering why about the Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Starmer, what's come out in the Epps files is you've not only got the ex-Prince Andrew information, which we've known about for years, but we also had the Mendelssohn information, which again we've known about for years. But what happened is Keir Starmer last year appointed Mendelssohn as the ambassador to the US. And information's coming out about what an absolutely ghastly, dastardly appointment that was. He was trying to claim that he didn't know that Mendelssohn had lied to him about his past. And it's like, oh, goodness me, a blooming tarot reader on the other side of the world knew what Mendelssohn was up to and was like and had been up to. Why on earth? Anyhow, so that's this is, even though Starmer's not in the files, the fact that he appointed Mendelssohn and then tried to defend his appointment, it looks like he's going to bring Starmer down. Now, this is how democracies really should kind of work. In Australia, we've had leaders of government be brought down by bottles of wine that they did not declare as gifts, etc. I mean, must admit it was a $4,000 bottle of wine, Grange something or other, that he didn't declare as a gift. I hope he enjoyed drinking it. But yeah, we've had party leaders, leaders of government been taken out because they didn't declare that the government had paid for a family member to go on some sort of trip somewhere. Okay, so this is how it should work, being held accountable. So Keir Starmer is very much on the outer with the Queen of Swords and the information coming in, negative information coming in very quickly. So I want to have a look at potential replacements. Told you, a bit of a lighter reading. You guys have thrown me some names. I've gone through and had a look at a few names. I'm going to read on 3 of them, four of them. Rosie Duffy, Angela Rayner, Shabana Mahmood and Yvette Cooper. These are the sort of the 4 top female contenders for the position. So we've got the 2 of Cups working together potentially, or handing over due to unable to hold it all together. So end of line for Starmer. Handing over the reins. So this is what happens when you have a leader of a country that is brought forward out of the, I'm going to say, the ranks of the leading, in charge political party. They can also be removed that easily. So let's have a look. The best of democracy is at play here. So I'm going to draw some cards on each of them and we'll see how we go. So come on down and we'll start from the top. Rosie Duffield. Now, she's an outlier because she was in the Labor Party, which is the governing party at the moment. She is pro-EU. She is pro-two-state solution for Israel and Gaza, but she left the Labor Party because she did not agree with their Semitism stance, etc. So she is now an independent. Now, I don't know that an independent has ever been put into the position of Prime Minister before. Usually they come from within the ranks of the party. But Rosie Duffield, do you like the sound of her? Rosie Duffield. She was oh no, that was someone else, sorry, Rosie Duffield. Right, the Lover's card. Contracts, agreements, something coming forward. Rosie, ooh, and the Nine of Cups and the Two of Wands. So she has a very international view. Plan underway, international view. She's comfortable in her position. She thinks she might think that she's got it all lined up. And then the Ace of Wands. Well, that looks good for Rosie Duffield. She might really very well be in the running because the Ace of Wands and then the government. First cab off the rank. Rosie Duffield looks promising. She might come back to within the party. She might have been asked to do so. However many they need within the party, she might have the numbers to do this, but she would have to rejoin the party. Writing in as a winner. On the bottom, it's also my false victory card, but writing in as a winner. So, okay, first cab off the rank, Rosie Duffield. Looks good. Current independent. Woman who is not afraid to stand up, for her beliefs. And we've got the High Priestess, the higher feminine awareness, the order, the intuition, the agendas, and then we've got the Ace of Cups as well. So Rosie Duffield, do like it, but she would have to rejoin the party, I suspect. And I'm getting that there's talks going on for her to do so that she can step up into this position. But let's have a look. Angela Rayner, she was the former Deputy PM. She's the one I read on the other day. Former Secretary of State, which is, I'm not sure what the Secretary of State role is, but you know what I mean. She had to step aside due to tax fraud. I read on it the other day. I think she got caught up in something that was sort of bigger than her, but a few of you have come out and said, no, she knew exactly what she was doing. Angela Rayner as Prime Minister. Let's have a look. Angela Rayner. Right. Some sort of celebration and declaration of an announcement, but people are walking away in the background there. Celebration, delusional, negative messaging, and end of her legacy. These don't look good for her. On the defensive, under investigation, some sort of legal action being taken, judgment ending. Yeah, okay, I will stand corrected. I don't think it's going to be Angela Rayner at all. None of those are pretty good cards for her. So let's have a look. Next one is Shabana Mahmood. Now, Shabana Mahmood, Muslim woman. She is a barrister, or was trained as a barrister. She worked as a barrister as well. She was the Shadow Justice Secretary, the Shadow Education Secretary. She now is, now that the Labor Party is in power, she is the Justice Secretary. And also was the Justice Secretary, became the Homeland Security secretary. She proposed changes to the settlement of immigrants, saying it's a privilege, not a right. However, this is someone whose parents immigrated from Pakistan. She claims she's working class, except that her father was a quite a highly paid civil engineer in the Middle East, and when they returned to the UK, she was born in the UK, so she's a UK citizen. Um, when they returned to the UK, they bought a convenience store, or a corner store, or whatever you like to call it, that her mother ran. So I wouldn't exactly say they were working class. Yeah, I wouldn't say that she was working class. She may be perceived as elite, keep it in the upper echelons type thing. With her role in government, we'll see how we go. She went to a selective grammar school. It's not private, but it was a selective school. So it was a public school, but it's pretty much a public-private type school for her high school years, and then went on to university. So she's not exactly working class, let me just put it that way. And that entitlement to come to the United Kingdom is, well, she might battle. It's a privilege, not a right. And yeah, I do get that. I absolutely get that. But she's talking also about only letting in sort of the best of the best, the specialists and the elite professions. Okay, she might have a battle on her hands here. Might find herself with her back up against the wall. Let's see how she goes. Oh, there's that card again. I think she's going to be seen as privileged, and the powers that be are not going to want to go down that path. Keir Starmer was seen like this as well. So was Sushi Runak, of the elite class, doling out, despite her claiming working class roots. No, she hasn't. Okay, the Magician. Creating something out of nothing, manifesting a result. Let's see where this goes. Justice and the Devil. Chained to the Devil. There might be something dredged up about her that is unpleasant, where some history where there might be emails between her and the elite, or a posts that she's put out in the past, because this is actions having consequences and tied to the devil. Yeah, an abuse of power, betrayal, deceit, and finding herself restricted, and oligarch or money can be legacy. Money legacy is going to be her downfall. Ugh. And if you wanted, there's 2 downfall cards there, and then we've got the big yes card. Yeah, and infighting potentially, or just blaming. Yeah, I don't think she's going to get across the line. I thought, when I was going through, I thought, oh, and then I started getting into her history, looked on the Wikipedia page, and I went, maybe not. Again, people are not going to buy they're not going to just believe the propaganda that's put out towards them. So my front runner at the moment is Rosie Duffield. I want to have a look at Yvette Cooper. I've got nothing written down about Yvette Cooper except Yvette Cooper. Let's have a look. She's a real outsider, an outlier. So show me Yvette Cooper. Strategy, making deals, potentially. Yvette Cooper. Show me Yvette Cooper. Right. Well, she's in government. I mean, this is a legislator. Plan of action. Trying to work it. Deals done behind the scenes. But we've got here again end of an era, end of legacy, because I've also got, I think in some way she's going to be tied to the patriarchal of old, the moneyed, and it's not going to work out for her. Oh, yeah, something to do with money and emperors, and here's that card again that Mahmud got, been seen as an elite. Oh, lies. Information coming out of potentially about lying, and then yeah, the infighting and the downfall and the wheel of fortune and blah da 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 da. No, so I'm going, okay, well I'll do a little bit of a further look at Rosie Duffield. If I had to pick anyone, she is my front runner. But I think what has to happen is she's going to have to come back within the ranks of the Labour Party. So let's have a look at Rosie Duffield. Let's do a bit of a bigger reading on Rosie Duffield. Yeah, it's the end of the men. I don't think it's a man going to get in. End of an era for the men. Yes, I saw that. Seeing things differently. Been tied up and restricted. And there's the voter. The legal restriction perhaps in the voter. But I don't think that's Rosie Duffield. I think that's just the voters are ready for change. They're fed up with being confined. Fed up with being the scapegoats and the milking cow, and the voters are fed up. So whoever's in is going to have to really, really pull it together. Rosie Duffield, let's have a look. Rosie Duffield. Okay. Right. The moon, the here and now energy is just simply the rocky path in the face of the lunacy. Eclipse also on the 17th, sorry. So she might emerge on the 17th to start this path in the face of all this lunacy. Yeah, she is going to be offering something significantly new. New opportunities. Something new, something tangible. In the face of this disappointment and loss. You know, these people get put in there like Starmer with all the hope in the world, but facing loss and disappointment. This is the here and now. This is the past. This is the going forward. So Rosie Duffield. Disappointment in the party is what I'm getting as well. She has the ability to pick up and two things, pro-EU and pro-two-state solution, and cross the bridge. But disappointment in the party, which is why she left and became an independent in the past, because it was all about the money, 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 oligarchical money. Crowning the reading, the manifestation, the ability to manifest, doing deals behind the scenes, making plans, immediate future, bringing strength, feminine strength, compassionate strength, taming the Leo, internally, feeling restricted though. It's almost like if you rejoin the party, these are the rules. Feeling restricted by the strategy, but She can, by following the water course and shaking out of the bindings, extract herself from these restrictions. Hopes and fears, an independent female. They do fear an independent female. Right, we've got the King of Wands as the outcome, action being taken, the Ace of Wands and the Emperor. Taking control. The legislators, a big announcement, and taking control, stepping into the Emperor chair. Walking away and bringing new joy. This could be the downfall of Starmer, walking away from Starmer and bringing new in with the Sun card. Gosh, I hope so. I hope they don't stick a man in there. It's not a given. The underlying energy, it's not a given, but we've got the Ace of Swords here as well. New strategy. I'm hoping this walking away and then the Sun card. I'm hoping this is walking away from this my way or the highway dictatorship, masculine energy towards something new, because the next card was this gift from the past, the emotional yearning to go back to what was. She is pro-EU and then charging in. Charging forward. Because I've always seen that the UK will rejoin the EU in some form, not how it was, but in a new form. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that there. Anything can happen between now and then, but I think the 17th is going to be quite significant in whatever happens in the UK regarding the Prime Minister. But my front runner at the moment, if I'm going to have to say a female leader, and they always seem to bring in, aside from Thatcher, who I swear was a bloke in a skirt, they always seem to bring in a female leader like Theresa May to try and fix the mess that the men have gotten the country into. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Liz Truss was another one. No, I didn't like Liz Truss, but she lasted, less than the cabbage head of lettuce. But again, it was, stick a female in, put all the blame on her, and make her try to fix it. That didn't work very well either. Okay, let's see how we go. Rosie Duffield, Team Rosie. Catch you shortly. Bye-bye.